We are live. This is the market update question. Have we been rugged? Has the crypto community been rugged? Or will we be rugged? By who? Our friends in the administration. You may have heard some interesting political developments yesterday. I don't know that we need to talk about them, but you know, the guy who sort of kind of looks like me, Alex Jones, was crying, talking about being sick to his stomach over these developments. Basically, a lot of things that we got promised, we're not only not getting them, we're getting the opposite. You know, like military equipment's going over to Eastern Europe. There are rumors of additional military strikes in the Middle East. One of the guys is at the White House for the third time. Said he was the greatest guy in the whole world. I'm not really sure what we're doing, especially with the files. You know, like 1 minute there are files and the next minute it's gone. It's gone. Now, what does this have to do with crypto? That's the eternal question. Are we going to get the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve ever? Crypto Week is coming up on the 14th. So everybody can say, well, you know, we'll make crypto legal. Great. Thank you. Appreciate that. And we'll pass a law that says we won't make a CBDC. Well, you don't have to because USDC and Circle can handle that. But okay, cool, right? Where's the strategic reserve? Where's the sovereign wealth fund? I mean, the sovereign wealth fund can or cannot buy crypto, whatever. Where is it? Where is it? Now, here's the great news. If Make America Great Again is a rug, well, the first trade might not be good for crypto, but I think if you have this level of government ineptitude, the eventual bounce will be enormous. And it could occur across the cryptoverse. Now, we hope that they embrace the American-made cryptos on a happier note. We hope that that's what they do. They give them favorable tax treatment. But, you know, Crypto Week's coming up, and I'm like, in November, they were mooning our bags, and I think they're going to moon our bags with bad behavior, right? Or incredibly bad optics, or, hey, let's just say it. How about lying? Right? I mean, the first day was like, optics, and then it's like, are we going to get this? Now, I don't want to be one of these bullish guys that talks himself into being negative in the middle of a completely silent range. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying they're going to need crypto and they're going to need Bitcoin. They're either going to pay 104 or they're going to pay 304. They can do it now or they'll do it later. They're going to do it. But they're not in the mood to keep promises, at least from what I'm seeing. So let's go over the sentiment out there. All right, so it's official. After 2 years of saying the dollar has to go lower, everybody now agrees that the dollar has to go lower. Extreme dollar hate, extreme stock greed, and zero fear. Wow. Okay. Guess that means the dollar might go up, stocks might go down, and no fear may be replaced with a whammy. Got a full moon coming up. Traders on the most bearish on the dollar, at least in 3 years. Okay. Everyone gets the same way, right? In April, everybody at Wall Street, recession. What's the market do? Straight up, right? Now, everyone's bearish the dollar versus other fiat currencies. That's what DXY is. Matter of fact, most people don't notice, but DXY is heavily weighted for the dollar versus the euro. So if you want the dollar index to go lower, you have to love the euro. Now, I'm agnostic on the euro. I'm cool one way or the other, but think the only way to devalue the dollar is versus crypto, personally, right? And like I said, if governments behave badly, you maybe get a down trade, but then the whole thing just turns around, crypto that is, and goes vertical, right? I mean, you cannot devalue the dollar anymore. Like everyone's short the dollar. Oh, I'm in foreign exchange and I'm short the dollar. Yeah, okay. Like Ray Dalio, it's like, the world's gonna go bankrupt. I'm short the bonds. Okay, how's that working out? It's not, right? The worse they behave, right? The more everyone looks at them and going, "What are you doing?" The better it is for crypto. That's my opinion. Because, sitting around going, hey, MetaPlanet's buying, MicroStrategy's buying, although they had to stop, and I have a theory about that. So don't go anywhere. Yob, first on the stream, welcome. James Spencer, MJ Hits, SG, the original. Miguel, Zapadas, Ben from Down Under, Roby. Could we claim that we are past the bottom yet? Oh my God, I'm sharing this. Holy cow. Are we past the bottom? Yeah, dude, it's not going back to 77K. It's not happening. I got a colleague who's like, she couldn't believe it went down there to begin with. Right? Kevin, good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Oh no, holy schmoly. Happy Tuesday. Keep the hope alive. Dude, the hope is always alive. And frankly, this government ineptitude is literally a dream. Okay, now, one reason to get potentially bullish the dollar is that Warren Buffett is now discovering that the currency is worth less and less and less. The guy owns a huge percentage of the treasury bill market. And now he's just discovering about the currency and the printing. It's just kind of getting around to him, which is funny. He's a total Bitcoin hater, allegedly. So now officially everyone is bearish the dollar now that Warren is in. There's no way to devalue the dollar versus fiat. You have to do it versus gold. Now, everyone brace yourself. Ready? Here comes the automated kill switch. Oh, Steak and Shake redecorating an orange Bitcoin. Oh, stop it. Stop it. This looks like the strategy. My MicroStrategy rebrands the strategy on the front cover of Forbes, the whole market. Hopefully no one notices this. Seriously, tell me this doesn't work. I hope it doesn't. Hey, Coinbase commercials. Anything like this, the market goes down. I hate this. It's a very attractive looking place. And I do want to go to Steak and Shake. I'm not going to lie. Joe points out how the mainstream media has downplayed Elon in general. Is the America Party going to get traction? And if so, will they try to suppress it? Well, they're not going to suppress anything because Twitter, he owns media with Twitter. So they're not going to suppress him. I'm just curious as to how they're going to explain, the Mars trip for 10 trillion or whatever it is. I haven't asked ChatGPT, if you send 250,000 robots to Mars, well, what does that cost? And then there's the H-1B visa thing. So, how's he going to sell that to everybody who already has 2 jobs? I don't know. Not a big fan of tech bros. Matter of fact, I'm not a big fan of anybody this morning because I think it's really a McAfee world. They're coming right to me on this, right? I mean, it's like any way you look, it's like, oh, I could do this. I could do this. This reminds me of why I was a Robert Kennedy guy. But then again, he may have had to come in, and these guys are acting this way, and they're capitulating to these special interests for a reason, right? It's a big club, says it George Carlin, a comedian from the 90s, and you ain't in it. You ain't in it. He was right. DC is gross. Okay, so peace on earth, goodwill to men. We have the stealth bomber in the Middle East, and Putin is the problem, allegedly. And we're sending stuff to the Ukraine, but don't worry, it's only defensive. Only defensive stuff. Okay. Look at this. Holy cow. So this is not the type of a guy you see crying often, right? I think the Orange Man gave this guy a Cybertruck when they did the whole bankruptcy lawfare attack on him. And he knows all about these files. I'm not real big on it. I don't see that as being relevant to crypto. It's kind of like a sleazy intelligence blackmail thing with a lot of, people who got hurt. We've been rugged. Yeah, he's been rugged on his political stuff. And now I'm kind of sitting around going, well, Elon's got out on the crypto vote, and they better get out on the crypto vote with us. We better get a strategic Bitcoin reserve, a sovereign wealth fund. We better get something next week. Now, of course, if we do, the market will go straight up. But there's like a rug trend going on here that I don't really like. it. But I do like it because I like crypto getting its like blank U back on, right? It's the blank U to the government, right? Like I live in Austin. I keep like, hey, Alex, let's do some crypto. Hey, maybe I'm going to get somewhere with that. Meanwhile, back at the oil ranch, oil closed its session high as we have more stuff going on in the Red Sea. What do you know? The Greeks lost the boat. I'm just saying. The consensus is this is supposed to be over. Okay, fine. I get it. Then why is the leader of the blue and white at the White House in person for the third time? What are they talking about? In person. They can't do it on Zoom. You got to do it in person. Okay. I'm not happy with Putin at all. Wow, you mean the Russians didn't just roll over and cooperate when you told them to? No, that was never going to happen. But, we're back in now. It's the same. This is also somewhat nauseating, right? BlackRock is just hoovering up this market. And I'm starting to wonder, because I know how they could do it. Like if you had enough Bitcoin, you could use the Bitcoin options market to suppress the price. You could. Long story. You could. Now, they hold this thing on behalf of people for the ETF. Okay. I'm starting to wonder about the price action. Not getting bearish. I'm just wondering. Okay, so on a high time frame chart, really on a monthly close, you got to get above 108. Okay, that's over here. That makes sense, right? So, Bitcoin obviously at resistance, having a hard time getting through. Okay, so MicroStrategy attracts 6 types of investors. I think the graph is better. People who are risk averse, they want interest and Bitcoin exposure. This is maximum interest. In other words, Michael Saylor takes Bitcoin profits and uses it to pay interest on something like an IOU or a bond, right? MicroStrategy is good for maximum returns, a passive Bitcoiner, or a blocked Bitcoiner. So make no mistake about it. Michael Saylor's got this figured out. He's got to figure it out. So the only thing is, and this is like the super bullish thing that I have to say, Michael Saylor stopped buying Bitcoin. And the reason he stopped buying Bitcoin is because I don't think they have the liquidity. I don't think they can fill the orders. There's no Bitcoin available. There's no volume. Like where are they going to get all the crypto that he wants with no volume? Bitcoin will go to 200K. Top alts will 50X. I certainly hope my alt 50Xs, and I hope yours does too. Elon says his new political party will be pro-self-defense and pro-Bitcoin. Good. We certainly don't need any more anti-self-defense or anti-Bitcoin. So at least he is smart enough to go out there and talk to the crypto bros right away. Smart move. He might want to put his money where his mouth is and buy some. But if he did that, I might ignore all the distasteful things, that I think when I see this guy's face, right? Because again, if his party is running the country, he is running the country and his robot army. Because remember, he's going to have a robot army. If the presidential election is in 2028, by 2032, like I said, There will be a robot army. You will see robots walking down the street. Just saying. The Ethereum Community Foundation launched to push ETH to 10K. Yes, they okay. Ethereum is just now discovering the concept of a narrative. They're getting there, right? Okay, so here is the move over, big, beautiful bill. Crypto week is coming. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we have the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and the Anti-CBDC Act. So Clarity, it's not illegal. No CBDC. Great. Okay. I can't find the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve or the Sovereign Wealth Fund in this article. Just saying. Right? And my hope is, at this point, honestly, that they don't do it. You know why I think they haven't done it? If I'm going to be slightly less, I don't know, edgy, it's because I think they're afraid of admitting that there's something wrong with the dollar at a moment where everyone is already negative the dollar. In other words, you can do it when the dollar's up. You're like, hey, I want to get a little diversification. When everyone else is positioned for the dollar going to zero, it makes it harder for you to do Bitcoin. I mean, I know the Fed's never going to want to do it. There hasn't been one word about it. Not one. And then after this saying, you know, like I'm getting breaking news from the Eagle King, okay, that, I don't know. Again, it's all kind of psyop-ish. A former CIA officer has just come out and said that the deep state probably destroyed the files. So they're already trying to backpedal out of that mess. Again, paper currencies. Unfortunately, Elon's got this right. It's like hopeless. Now, these guys must watch the show. Here comes mergers and acquisitions in crypto. CoreWeave to buy Bitcoin miner. What do you know? The Skynet AI guys want Bitcoin miners. Meanwhile, Bitcoin miners are like, oh, I can't do this. One of them capitulated and went over to ETH. I mean, I understand. I mean, it's a tough business. But here we are. Skynet buys crypto. Coming soon. XRP. Who knows what other layer one? Could be Near. I mean, you can't buy Near, but you can buy Ripple. You can buy Ripple. I mean, it would be amazing if the American-made cryptos got favorable favorable tax treatment, and then boom, the massive mergers and acquisitions starts. Like, no joke. Poor Alex is still upset, right? Metaplanet wants to use, here we go. Metaplanet wants to use the Bitcoin to go out and buy other companies, which is a little different than Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor just wants to buy as much Bitcoin as possible because he thinks Bitcoin is going to essentially suck all the capital out of every other instrument over the long, long term. That's what the Bitcoin maxis think. Metaplanet's like, hey, maybe instead of having to buy, and of course, it's going to be a miner, right? They're going to say, hey, we don't have to go out and buy all this Bitcoin. We can just take whatever this miner has and just keep putting it on our books, or buy other crypto companies, or both. Become Coinbase of Japan. I don't know. But it makes all the sense in the world, right? The only thing better than crypto is more crypto. So if you can leverage Bitcoin to buy a company, they're going to do it. And then, of course, why would you do that? This is your M&A lesson that I have discussed. When you want to get big, when you want to get taken over, you want to get as big as possible. So Metaplanet's like, well, we have a lot of Bitcoin, and someone's going to want to buy us. So to get the Bitcoin, because eventually you're not going to be able to get it, right? If Saylor wants to buy the massive amount of Bitcoin, he's going to have to take over a company. So Metaplanet's like, okay, well, let's get as big as possible. Let's get as big as possible. This is going to be a mania. It kind of already is in equities. Alt season is being done in stocks. I wanted crypto equities, but not at the expense of crypto. Hopefully that changes. Okay, so more grift. What could be more fun? So the orange man's making a ton of money off crypto. And up until yesterday, I was like, cool. Good. Good for him. Now I'm like, okay, he's going to make money. What's going to happen to us? Just curious. Just curious. What's going to happen to us? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen to us is that these guys will either implement the strategic Bitcoin reserve or they'll start making mistakes. And crypto will just launch itself in outer space, particularly if there's any kind of black swan, like a conflict in the Middle East starts up again or whatever. I just see the case for crypto as being more edgy and more rebellious. Like if you give me some favorable tax treatment on XRP, which hopefully they do, we have crypto week and we don't have favorable transaction tax for American-made cryptos. That's interesting. 4 signs ETH can go to 5K are back in play, right? So some squiggle TA. I love squiggle TA, right? You just draw and let it go. Squiggle TA is amazing. Ethereum spot ETF flows have remained positive for 8 consecutive weeks. Well, of course it has. Like, did you know, maybe I said this yesterday, NVIDIA, off the lows, has added 1.6 trillion to its market cap. I mean, that's more than total altcoin market cap. That's crazy. And that's how much they added, not how much it is, how much they added with the recent rally. So, of course, equities players who will learn to sell the winners and buy the losers, hopefully they're getting out. They've got a second chance to get out. They're getting out and moving over into crypto just for diversification purposes. And you know what? I'm going to be okay with the fact that if equities just keep going up, I don't see how that happens. But obviously, as a crypto person, I'm okay if they want to keep the environment risk-friendly. And some incredible news. This poor guy from Tornado Cash is not going to jail. Unbelievable that they let it go. I guess they wanted to do it with Crypto Week. Meanwhile, this guy's spending money on lawyers, legal fees, getting ready for this appeal. So Roman Storm is done. And that is really nice. Granted motion to vacate. Thank you. Done. Privacy, transactional freedom. I saw this McAfee video, right? I saw this McAfee video where he talks about like, what's it like? How did he come into existence? He's like, well, I was born and that was a very constricting experience. And then, everybody was holding me and I didn't really have control over anything I was doing. And then I went to school and everyone told me what to do. And everywhere I went in my whole life, everyone was telling me what to do and I had no control. So a 3-year-old John McAfee going, hey, man, hey, mom, how come I have transactional freedom on my Hot Wheels cars or whatever was popular back then? You know what I'm saying? It's all about control. It is. And the only way to not be controlled is crypto. Now, crypto was fun. I mean, the whole Orange Man thing was great. Crypto Week is next week. But I mean, I'm already like, it's probably a bullish indicator that I'm prepared to be underwhelmed. Hopefully they come over the top with a surprise. I would love that. I really would. I would absolutely love it. Look at this. Jack Dorsey tests SpitChat. Decentralized messaging without the internet. Bluetooth network. And it's supposed to stop censorship, which is kind of funny because I'm pretty sure this guy was like Mr. Censorship back in the day. I mean, the president of the United States got kicked off Twitter. Okay, well, he's decentralized now, so good for him. That's good. Coinbase is now back to where it was when it IPO'd. So Coinbase came out to huge hype, totally topped the market. Coinbase is now back. Will it go to 600? Honestly, Probably, especially if Bitcoin doesn't even really go down, right? It's going to become Goldman, effectively. They're going to be holding everybody's crypto. And they're probably going to build a service business around that. This is the story of the Bitcoin miner. The stock went up 30% after they gave up on Bitcoin mining, sold the Bitcoin, and bought ETH instead. I hope it works. Really. I'm seriously, I mean that. Solana matches all other chains combined in monthly active users. You know, everybody used to onboard via ETH. Obviously, now everyone is onboarding via Solana. I mean, to me, Solana's price action is shocking. The level isn't shocking. The level in ETH is shocking. The price action in Solana, where it just doesn't move. I don't know, man. That feels really weird to me. And I don't like it when crypto doesn't move at all. It reminds me of what happened in November of 2018. But again, that's just me. So Strategy has the 11th biggest corporate treasury, right? It's huge. And these hedge funds that are short this stock, they're going to get crushed. And it's very simple. If a mergers and acquisition spree starts, or let me say this again, nobody can ever become the size of MicroStrategy without buying companies. You'd have to probably buy 2 or 3 companies to get as big as Michael Saylor. And I don't even know if that's true. I don't even know if that's true or not. Okay, so Eric is going to be in Asia at a conference. Good. You guys going to do the strategic Bitcoin reserve? Sorry, I'm asking for a friend. Pump.fund is now Bonk.fund. No, it's not. Bonk.fund is taking Pump.fund's business, which is interesting, right? They're leaning on Bonk as the native token. Pump.fund is trying to issue its own token. You know, these guys are using the Bonk token as the new rug chain. Wonderful. Okay, on a much lighter note, the candlesticks for today are green. There is some hope that Solana can go up, but as you can see, this range is narrowing, right? In other words, this is like a triangle. It's like, okay, first the range is 160 to 145. Then the range is 156 to 146. Now the range is 151 to 148. The next thing you know, we're closed on weekends, right? I mean, it's at some point, it really does feel like it's got to like go, right? ETH. It's just, I mean, it's like literally you had this like flash crash over the 13-day problem, and that's it. That's what you got. So I don't know if you noticed, but McAfee got in all kinds of trouble with 3-letter agencies, right? IRS, SEC, all that stuff, right? Some of the videos that the guy made in 2018 now sounds like, that sounds like he made them yesterday, because everything he was saying in 2018 is now almost consensus today, except for the need to have privacy and trade privacy and stuff like that. This guy was in trouble with every 3-letter agency was after him. And you know what? The thing I like about it is he wasn't afraid, according to his widow, Janice. He was never afraid, according to her, which meant that he must have sought out the danger, which made me think about, what's going on in my life, what's going on with the market. This market is slow. I'm like, you know what? Go seek out. Like yesterday's lesson on the Texas storm was go seek out a loved one. Today's is like, go seek out something hard. Hard, maybe sitting there waiting for your bags to go up. I can associate with that. But I'm just going to tell you right now that Uncle Sugar and sovereigns, or whoever wants to be the sovereign, I said they didn't care about you, and I willed it into existence, I think. Because as of now, today, some of these developments are like disturbing. All right. Oh my God. Finally, the world has gotten what it's waiting for. XRP news. I mean, people watching like these XRP news channels, I mean, they are just, they're ready to start publishing what Brad Garlinghouse had for breakfast. MasterCard calls XRP a bridge currency for cross-border payments. Fast money is what I call it. Right? Somebody figures this out, Ripple's going to get bought. MasterCard would make perfect sense because these credit card companies, charging people 3% or whatever, 2% of their transaction, that's over. That's done. Right? So, Metaplanet wants to buy companies. MasterCard just telegraphed that they want to buy Ripple. That hasn't gotten priced into the market yet. I like how the private sector is doing it, and I like rebelling against Uncle Sugar. I do. All right, people. That's the market update for today. We will see you tomorrow.